Welcome to Module 16, which is dedicated to text. Typography, which is the design of text. So we have our text tool over here. So if you click and hold, the horizontal type tool is what we usually use. And if you click, horizontal type tool lets you type horizontally. For example, if I have a business called Snake Eyes, here is my text that was just typed in, and notice it's justified in the center, which seems like to be a default in Photoshop. Go ahead and justify it to the left. Let's open window, character. If you don't have the character panel, just go to window character, make sure character panel is turned on. Mine is over here. Yours might look something like this. If yours pops up like this, all you have to do is just select this dark gray area, drag it over here, and now it's here. So that is the horizontal type tool. And notice it automatically renames the name of your layer right here in your layers panel. Okay, click and hold. I'm going to show you what the vertical type tool is. So the vertical type tool types vertically. All right, so I'm going to hide this here. Let's go to our horizontal. If we double click on it, we can select it. I'm going to come here, change the size. Let's make it to 72. Over here, you can change the color, anything you want. I'm going to do something that contrasts against the black and white. So yeah, let's do this poppy color. Okay, and over here you can change the font. Notice there are a bunch of options. Let me zoom in so you can see. There are a bunch of options. I sometimes select my layer. You can select with your move tool, and I'll click here on my font and just click the down arrow on my keyboard and go through all the fonts until I find one that I like. And notice sometimes you get weird, like some weird stuff, but that's because there are fonts installed that only work with different languages, not English. So you can just go through and check what's in there. This one's kind of cool. It's a bold font. You are not limited to the fonts that you have right now. I'm going to show you how to add more fonts, because if you do some of the typography projects, you're definitely going to need them. So I'm going to go ahead to my cloud. This little cloud up here is the cloud as well. And I'm going to come in here in my search and just type in font. So Adobe Font pops up. Awesome, that's what I need. So notice there are a bunch of different options over here. There's an option for sample text. So let's type in Snake Eyes. And then we can see what it would look like using different fonts. So that's a way to search. Looks like I spelled eyes wrong. There we go. And then also there are different options here, like funky. Let's see what type of funky fonts. So there's a bunch of different font options. This one's interesting. It's hard to read, but it's interesting. So you can come in here, search for all different types of fonts. And let's say if you like a font, just click add family. And it adds it to Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, all of the Adobe software that is available to you. It adds it everywhere. So now it's in my library in Photoshop. So let's see, this one was called Gambato. There are calligraphy looking fonts, which doesn't always look great in all caps, but we can do lowercase too to show you. There's a brush pen looking fonts that are more handmade looking, and you can see some of the lowercase looks pretty nice. Ooh, I actually really like this family a lot. I'm going to add family. This one's cool too. I like a good brush font. There's so many different pages, so many different options. It's a cool font too, Add Family. So now to make sure that the fonts are working, I want to Command S to save my file. Let's close it and then let's go back and open it again. And let's come here and see. Yep, here it is. So the Gambato font that I just installed is here. So I can select this, come here, type it in. Gambato, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, Gambato. So there's a regular one. So it looks like there is a sans serif version, meaning it doesn't have any legs. And then there is also a serif version, which means it does have legs. And notice the font changes as I go over the serif version versus the sans serif version. But I'm going to Command Z to undo that because I like this bold font. So that is how you add fonts. Another tool I want to show you, well, for type, I'm going to select the pen tool. Over here, make sure you have pens or shape selected. I'm going to turn the fill off and then turn my stroke on. And I'm going to come in here and kind of draw a spiral. I know this one's a little weird looking. I'm going to draw a spiral because some of the assignments, for example, the typography poster, you need to be able to type in different ways and following along a path. So now I'm going to select my text tool, come here to the very beginning of this pen tool, and notice as soon as I come close, my cursor changes. So I'm going to click, and now it adds some filler font on the path that I just made. So I'm going to type something here. A little blue dog ran after the school bus. So this font might not be the best one. You can come in here and just let's see what else we have here. Well, that looks cool. And you can even come in here, select your direct selection tool and clean up this path a little bit. If you click on it, you can come here and just smooth it out a little bit because it is not very smooth right now. I just quickly did it. Come here, fill it out. I'm going to double click. Oops. Command Z to do that. I'm trying to select the text. Command A to select all, Command C to copy, Command V to paste, space, Command V to paste. We're going to do this sentence 3 times just so you can see the path. And then come here with this direct selection tool and let's edit the path a little bit. So you can click on the little points, and once it turns blue, that means you're editing it, and you can rotate it however you want. Also, let me pull this out. An option, if you click and hold the pen tool, there are options. You can add an anchor point. These little dots are called anchor points. You can delete an anchor point, or you can convert point tool. What does that mean? So let me select it and show you. So we have this point out here. I'm going to convert it and make it sharp instead of little handles. Notice this one has little handles. So I'm going to click once, and now it's a sharp point. I can come here and make a sharp point. You see that? And if I decide, oh no, I want the handles back, just click and drag and the handles are back. You can smooth the edges, click and drag, the handles are back. And notice the handles, wherever they point, that's the direction that the text is going to be going. So now we have it back. Okay, so that is how you type on a path. I'm going to select my move tool, Command T to transform, just scale it smaller. That way I have room to work with my other font. Move it down. And there we go. All right, so and notice it still has the shape here. You can just hide it. You don't need that layer. So I have my snake eye text here. I'm going to zoom in For example, if I wanted to design a logo, this becomes really handy. So first thing I want to do, right click, duplicate layer, just hit return. The reason I do that is sometimes we may make a mistake once we convert it, and if we don't duplicate the layer, I don't know what font I use. So I'm going to hide the bottom layer, that way I have the original. And then this snake eyes copy, I'm going to right click, convert to shape. Now I'm going to select my direct select tool. Notice it has all of these notice it has all of these points. And I can come here and edit points as needed. For example, if I'm like using this as part of my logo and I need the S to do something really weird, well, not really necessarily weird, but I need it to do something extraordinary, like make it larger there. Maybe I want to come here and make this point larger as well, because it's part of my logo and I need it to stick out. So this is a way to manipulate fonts, because if you just take a font, type it, and call it your logo, you're actually infringing on a copyright. You can't just use the font as is, you really have to edit it. So I have that. Let's say I want to come in here and add a little bit in this space right here. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit right here. Let's select our pen tool. Keyboard shortcut for the pen tool is P, but click and hold to select the option. And let's say I want to create a head of a snake with a tongue sticking out. So I'm going to come in here, create the tip of the snake, a tongue sticking out that's forked. Okay, so there I have a snake. I'm going to make it a different color, that way you can see the contrast. It's kind of a bad illustration, but this is just for the sake of the project. Command 2 to transform, because I'm going to rotate it. Hit return. I'm going to extend this snake's the tongue. Exaggerate it a little bit more. So make sure that the point is blue. That's when you can edit it. So there we go. So now I have two objects, a snake head and a font that is converted into a shape. So I'm going to go ahead and select both layers. So I have them both selected. Layer, combine shapes, and I'm going to subtract front shape. So there you go. My snake is subtracted from my font. So I can come in here and change the color however I want. You can see the fill is over here up top. So I can click on it. There are options here, or I can select the wheel and change it to whatever color I want. So let me zoom out. And notice I can still come in here and edit even this part. Totally up to you. This is called a vector shape, meaning it is a shape. It's a unique custom shape, but it's still a shape, which means that I can scale this. Scale is when you transform, you can make it either smaller or larger. I can scale this so large that I could put on a billboard without losing quality, or so small that I can put on a business card without losing quality. The reason we keep it a vector is because if you zoom in on a vector, like if you double click on the magnifying glass, that is 100%. Even if we go closer, you can see the edges are nice and crisp, and that's even at 300%. If I took this, let's see, right click, duplicate layer, return, and then I'm going to right click and rasterize layer. When I rasterize a layer and click the direct selection tool, nothing happens, because it is no longer a vector. It's no longer a shape. Now it's a flattened image, which means it's just an image. So if I do Command T, I scale it larger, I hit return, and then I double click my magnifying glass and zoom in to 300%. Let's make it even larger. Command T, let's make it even larger. Let's say I need it for a billboard or something, so I want to make it large. And then I'm going to come in here, double click, 300%. You can see the edges are starting to get blurry. And that is because it's a shape and it's not meant to be scaled. If I make it smaller, let's fit on the screen. Let's say I want to resize it. I make it smaller. Okay, and then I realize, oh, I made it too small. I need to make it larger. Command T to transform. And let's say, oh, I want it this big. Then I come in here, zoom. You can see the edges are really fuzzy now. It's really low quality. But if I turn on my shape tool, and let's do the same exact experiment. Let's make it small. Very tiny. Let's make it large. And then let's zoom in. 300%, still crisp edges. Now let's turn the image layer on that we did. And let's see the difference. Image layer, this is this one. 300% blurry edges. Vector, 300% crisp edges. So it does not get damaged when you scale it up or down. You can do it a million times and it won't damage it at all. If you do that with the image layer that we rasterized, it will get very blurry very fast. And we want to avoid that. All right, that's it. So you can hide the image layer. Let's scale this smaller, or at least show me that you created a compounded shape. And then Shift Command 4, copy and paste it into eCadence.